I'm originally from the South Jersey, Philadelphia area, so I'm going to start off with the Delphonics. La 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 means I love you. I don't think there's a better representation of Philadelphia music than that song itself. And I just love the Delphonics, and they were always great to see live. And they had that, my favorite thing about it was they had the same dance they did during the solo of every song. It just became known as the Delphonics dance. They would always just go into the same movements, and it was just great every time. So that's that one there. Townes Van Zandt, live at the Old Quarter. When I was 15, just about 16, I discovered Graham Parsons, and through that I discovered Emmylou Harris. And then I heard the song Poncho and Lefty, and I thought it was the greatest song I ever heard. But I had no idea who Townes Van Zandt was, had never heard of him, didn't know anything about him, and nobody I knew anything about him. And then one day I was in a Peaches record store, and they had a cutout sale of all these bins of records, and they had every Townes Van Zandt record for 39 cents. So I got this and every other one and had the most bummed out, beautiful summer of my life. Link Wray, self-titled album. I've always been a big fan of the Link Wray, the crazy guitar instrumental stuff and from the 50s and all, but this album is almost more like a singer-songwriter kind of thing, and but it's really great. It's got a nice funky vibe to it. It's done in a 3-track studio that had formerly been a chicken shack that his brother owned, which is like the best records ever made were made in a chicken shack. And it has this really cool cover, which is really awesome. Although very easy to get messed up. You should really put this in a bag or something. Leon Russell and the Shelter People. It's just great. That's all I can say. Yeah, it's just great. These two records here, Bo Diddley's Beach Party, which is actually a Bo Diddley live record. I think is actually a really actual Bo Diddley live concert. And Nolan Strong and the Diablos, which is a great doo-wop band. They had a beautiful song called The Wind. And The Wind and the live version of Roadrunner on here, I both rediscovered in that Velvet Underground documentary that came out last year. That both songs were used in there because Mo Tucker was a huge Bo Diddley fan, and Lou Reed was a huge doo-wop fan. And The Wind is just probably the most beautiful doo-wop song you'll ever hear. I highly recommend it. And while it's very expensive to find that record, you can get it on that. There's a soundtrack to that Velvet Underground collection that has it on there. So, John Coltrane and Pharoah Sanders live in Seattle. Some people think this is unlistenable. I think I just can't get enough. They just came out with some extra stuff from it. I think it's great, but it's not for everybody. But if you want to start out with Coltrane with the ballads thing, that might be the way to go. But if you want to lose your mind, this is the way to go. And Pharoah Sanders, turns out, we just found recently from Little Rock.
I didn't know that.
Isn't that strange?
I didn't know that.
I did not know that either. Them Again by them with Van Morrison, simply because it has, everything on it's great, but it has their cover of It's All Over Now, Baby Blue, which is probably the best Dylan cover I've ever heard. And it was good enough that Beck sampled it on the Odelay album. And there was another Townes Van Zandt album, so I just grabbed that, which is Our Mother the Mountain, which is a really beautiful record. And worth way more than 39 cents, I must say. So that's what I got. I highly recommend all of them. And come down to the Listening Lab. There's plenty more to pick from.